Hello friends, we're in the woods and today it's the first ride of the KTM 790 adventure. I have a confession to make. I already made this video, but hit the wrong button on the camera or something. I'm having nothing but camera issues this winter. I'm hoping to get them figured out by the time the season starts, which is nowish. So this is actually my second ride on this bike. But it was good to kind of get a feel for it. There's about 100 miles on it, and today we're going to go my old stomping grounds. Those of you that have been fans of the channel for a long time will recognize much of what we're doing today as the place where I first learned to ride off-road on the 250L back in the day. The 790 is pretty much still stock with a few exceptions. It's got a heat shield there for the Tusk bags that I'm going to put on. Got the Tusk Olympus tank bag. Got this airflow seat cover from Moto Machines, which I will link in the description for you. And I put that visor, this is the Puge visor, which makes a big difference in the buffeting, but the one I got is too big. I need a medium. That's a large. And Tusk 2Track tires. Didn't even bother with the stalkers. I'm so done with those Pirellis that I just had them take them off. There was 0 miles on them when I gave them away. I showed up to buy this with these tires and had them put them on because I just didn't want to deal with it at all. So let's ride. Oh, I will tell you one thing I love about this bike. It is so much easier to get my feet down. I have in the past gone on record as saying that seat height is not the big deal that people make it out to be, and I still believe that. But it's also not nothing. And confidence-wise, it is nice to know you're going to be able to get your feet down on uneven ground. Like, I can ride a bike with a tall seat height where I can barely get my feet down, but, you know, if I have a choice, I prefer not to. So that's what I like about this bike. I feel better about exploring on it, about getting into things that maybe are a little tricky to get out of, because even if I, like, went up a hill and there was a tree across the road and I had to, like, back up on a very steep hill, it's so much easier on a bike where I can get my feet down much more comfortably like this. So it reminds me of the Norden that way. That was one of my favorite things about the Norden. Shall we roll? I got my quick strap on my helmet finally. On the Shoei. It's been a while. I've missed it. Gear today, Shoei Hornet X2 helmet. These are just some 100% goggles with a quick strap. I got 2 Insta360 Ace Pros rocking right now. One on the helmet, one on the handlebars. These are the Revit Off-Track 2 gloves. I like these a lot. I've been enjoying them. Good summer, spring glove. And this is the MSR hydration pack, the name of which I forget. MSR Explorer jacket and pants, and I'm wearing my Alpine Stars Corzal boots and some darn tough socks from Motocamp Nerd that he assures me are the best damn socks on earth, so we'll find out. I've been wearing them on and off. I've been really happy with them so far. So first up, long gravel, although this is really hard packed, they've been logging up here, road, and then we'll get onto some better, more fun twisty gravel road, and then the overlook, and then we'll see how far we can get up here. That's the other reason I'm up here, is I just want to see where the snow is at. It's literally April Fool's Day, so it's not going to be low. April is when we have the most snow, and it first starts melting. So I don't anticipate being able to get up to Dork Mountain, but we'll go take a look. So I got about 150 miles on these Tusk 2Track tires, and I gotta say, and I sound like a broken record with these guys, I worry that I'm starting to sound like a shill because I just like everything they make so much, but they're great tires. Like, they're cheap, they're a lot like the Tusk D Sports. They're cheap, they have great traction, and, you know, I'm sure they're not great on wet pavement. I haven't done a ton of time on wet pavement with them, but no knobby is. Otherwise, they don't howl. They have a very similar tread pattern to the Moto Z Tractionator Rals. I would say they're very similar, but they don't howl like those tires do. Here's a log truck. There's a log truck. They are logging up here. Let's hope that, yeah, we're going to take it easy because these guys do not go slow and are not even around the corners. They get paid by the load, so they haul as much ass as they can. The 2Tracks are very good on the road. Like, so far anyway, they'll go as far as I'm willing to push them over, and I don't demand, like, ultimate street performance because I don't care. Like, I will sacrifice that all day to get better off-road performance, but I don't really notice having to hold back with them on the road either, so pretty damn good tires, and I've been told they last a long time and do really well on all kinds of surfaces. I've had them in the snow. Sorry, sharp corner. I don't want a truck to be coming around it. I've had them in the mud, a little bit of mud, not a ton. Obviously lots of wet gravel and hard pack and regular gravel, and I've been happy with them so far, so I don't see any reason not to keep running them. But time will tell, so that's just a first impression. It's not a full test, obviously. We only have, like, not even 200 miles, 167 at this moment. out of this thing is just, it's almost too fast to be usable. It's not, but God, you got to think about it, because it will surprise you. And it also makes you overconfident, and it makes me ride more aggressively than I should, or than I know I'm riding, because I look down, I'm like, oh hell, I'm going 50 miles an hour, I didn't even realize it. So, you know, there's a flip side to all this capability, but it is a very capable, very comfortable road bike that's also pretty damn good off-road. The other big first impression I have of it, based on my last ride and this one so far, is I'm actually pleasantly surprised with how stiff the suspension is. You can probably hear my voice going blah, blah, blah. And like, normally that would be a downside, right? The suspension's stiff and uncomfortable, but it's not, because it means that it's stiff enough to take the big bumps. Like, I don't mind feeling the little bumps when I know this isn't going to bottom out when I hit an unexpected pothole or a big rock. And I hit quite a few unexpected potholes on the last ride, and I didn't bottom the forks at all. Even with a heavier rider on it, I haven't messed with the preload at all. You know, it's a WP suspension. It's not adjustable, so it's not exactly top of the line spec. You're kind of stuck with what you have, but what you have isn't awful. It's way better than the stock suspension on a lot of dual sports and lower price adventure bikes that I've ridden that wasn't adjustable just like this. There's the waterfall. There's the waterfall. It's pretty. It's a pretty waterfall. This is actually a good test, because there's a section here that scared the shit out of me at one point when I was first riding, and I really like to go back to sections where I was frightened and ride them again, just to get some perspective on how much different my riding ability is now. Yeah, this is a lot looser. You can tell this is runoff straight down this road. But you hear the that's the stiffness of the suspension. Here's some mud. There's a test for those tires. Not missing a beat. Off-road traction control is very generous too. Let you slide when you want to, but not too much. I'm always happy with how intuitive it is. We're just dumping their damn garbage up here, right here. This section with these little divots. I mean, there's a rut there, but I'm not even seeing it up. It's not hard. But I used to think it was, because, you know, damn it, I hate. And this is why it's better to go deeper in the woods, because scumbags who are too lazy to go to the dump are also too lazy to drive very far in the woods to dump their garbage. So you get less of that farther up, but they get all the low down stuff closed off. There's a campsite up here I like, but it's like right on the border of BLM and logging company land, and I never know if they're going to come roust me out. There's the waterfall. Fabulous. It's pretty. This is the same waterfall we were just below. It's just higher up, because it just comes all the way down this cliffside. I think it's so much power to break the rear loose. I really don't understand. I mean, the 890's got more horsepower, but do you need it? I guess it just depends on, you know, if you're better than me, sure. But like, it's got more than I can use, like, handle safely now in the 790 on a much cheaper bike. What do people on 1290s do? That's the one I never understood. What's the point of a bike with so much horsepower you can't even put it to the ground, even on the street? So I have a story to tell as we head into the fun section, because we're going to go up to the overlook, which is up there. So we're going to go up on that ridge line. They say these bikes don't need crash bars because the tank protects the bike, the engine, and everything else. And I always thought that was kind of crazy, because like, what if it falls on the fairing on the side, right? Well, I tested it on my first ride out. Like, so I had 4 miles on the bike. There's a deer. Hi, deer. Because I had taken it like around the neighborhood a couple times, but first time I got it out on some gravel near my house. So 20 miles on the bike. I was screwing around. I did an out and back, and I was coming back, and I was going too fast around. It was a downhill sharp corner in the wet loose gravel. There was snow up there. I had it in an off-road mode, so that it had no rear ABS. And came into a corner way too fast. It was in 4th or 5th gear. And I came into a corner just too fast, and I tried to lean it over and brake lightly, and I was like having a whole conversation in my head, like, okay, you're going too fast, slow down, use the front brake, okay, lean the bike, you're fine. And then ultimately panic just won. I locked up the rear and spun out and low-sided the bike. So I low-sided this bike at, I don't know, 30 miles an hour, fell on my ass, tweaked my shoulder a little. What's crazy is, if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't be able to tell. So there's like a diamond plate, kind of just ridges on the tank guard, and there's the aluminum skid plate, which is shit, but it worked in this instance. It did get bent, and like all that happened was the aluminum skid plate got bent a little because I got some rocks underneath it, and a couple or one, maybe 2 of those diamond plate slash ridges wore off. That's it. You can't even tell. I low-sided this. 0 protection, 0 mods. I don't even have the hand guards on it yet, just the stock ones. You know, there's a plus in the column of this bike is that it can go down and not really damage itself. So I was already thinking I wasn't going to do crash bars. I want to keep this bike kind of light and lean. So I think I'm just going to do a plastic skid plate. That is the AXP, probably. And I've got the Hepco and Becker handguards because they're the ones that are designed for this bike, and they wrap around the factory handguards and look cool. It looks factory stock, but you've got extra protection. I've always liked that. This bike is lacking in a lot of ways compared to the 890, and they don't make an 890S anymore, so, or at least not in the US. See, it's this or the 890R. But there's an in-between option that's also in-between money-wise, and that would be buy this bike, put a high fender and the 890R, or just upgraded suspension on it that's adjustable. You know, you spend a couple grand there, and it's still cheaper than the 890. It's not as tall, depending on what you want to do with it, and it's got plenty of power. The electronics are exactly the same. All that is the same, which is one of the big advantages of this bike for the price, is like you're getting that more expensive electronics package that only would come on a top spec bike, but since they're just copying it, you know, innovation flows downhill. All right, camera won't do this justice, but kind of a steep technical hill. Definitely something that used to scare me, for sure. So, you know, it's not quite intermediate, but it's hard to easy. Sure. I gotta pee. Definitely have to pee. No better place to pee than like off the side of a cliff, if you ask me. Look at this. Look where we are. I'll be damned. Oh, this never gets old. There's the snow. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yeah, you can really feel the bumps. Tell you what. Yeah, there it is. That's the end of the road. You know why? Because every time I stop at something like this, I'm like, it's not that bad if I can just get through. There's just a ton more on the... Oh, actually, I can just go up to the left side. Okay. Just talk myself out and then back into it. Good job. Good job, me. That's funny. Ooh, it's a little slippery. A little slippery. But there's going to be another one just like that. All these little corners that hold snow. Yep, see, I can see it right there. That's why, even though people are always like, why do you keep going? Because there's no point. Once you start hitting these things, you're just going to keep hitting them. It doesn't stop. There's not less snow the higher you go. That's not how it works. Yeah, see, here it is. End of the line. Yep, there's not even ruts through this one, so no one's even been up here since the last storm. Well, I'm just gonna go back down through the same boring stuff I just came up through, so I'm not gonna bore you with that. Instead, I think I'm gonna end the video here unless something interesting happens on the way down. So I just wanna say thank you for watching. If you wanna see more content on the 790 Adventure, or just adventure, dual sport riding, moto camping in general, please consider subscribing to the channel. And please hit the like button. That really helps, makes the videos more visible, supports the channel. And if you want to go above and beyond, support the channel, don't forget that you can use my affiliate links to Rocky Mountain, Cyclops, Giant Loop, Moto Camp Nerd, Amazon, and Revzilla. If you click my link and then head over to the site to buy whatever you were buying, I get a small percentage. You don't pay any extra. Everybody wins, and I get to go on creating content for you and making this my full-time job, which I am very thankful to all of you for the opportunity. And it puts a cookie in your browser, so you don't have to click on the exact thing. You just have to have clicked on the link within the last week. Generally, depending on what your browser settings are. Anyway, that's enough rambling. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. And please do not forget to be excellent to each other. Oh, thank you. I'm pointing again. Damn it.
Excellent!